What's up, fellow golfer? Fellow non-golfer, listener of the Scratch Golfer's Mindset podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode 131. And today, you're in for a treat. Because as of about 48 hours ago, I was all prepped, ready to go with today's conversation topic. And then yesterday, the universe handed me a gift. I'm playing 18 at Tampa Palms. I'm paired up with the random. And that experience is why we're going to have the conversation that we have today. I have a strong imagination. It's relatable. And for many of you, it might punch you right in the fucking mouth because of how hard, raw, and vulnerable it lands. So we're moments away from that conversation. Again, welcome back. I appreciate you tuning in. My name is Paul Salter. I'm a mindset and performance coach, your host of the Scratch Golfer's Mindset podcast. And before we dive into today's episode, I want to pause. And I want to offer my sincerest appreciation and gratitude to you. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new listener, yet especially for those of you who have been around for the long haul, since the beginning, thank you. Thank you very much for making this podcast, the wonderful guests that I'm fortunate enough to have join me every week. Thank you for making us a part of your weekly routine. This podcast has bettered my life personally. I've told you before, I do this selfishly. I get to learn from these experts and simultaneously help you learn as well. And I was really spending a lot of time yesterday reflecting on the direction of this podcast, where it started. So funny to think about that, by the way, to where it is now. And none of the growth in my podcast, in my business, and in me personally would be possible without you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting me, for supporting the show, for supporting the guests that I've had on my show. I appreciate you. I appreciate the camaraderie, the relationships that I've built as a result of this podcast. In fact, some of my favorite clients that I work with have come directly from my podcast listening community. And as a thank you for listening, I want to gift 3 coaching sessions to you, my podcast community. I want to gift these 3 sessions to those of you who have been intrigued about high performance hypnotherapy and mindset coaching, yet have remained stuck on the fence taking action because you're uncertain. Will this work for me? Is it what I need? Spoiler, it's absolutely what you need if you're serious and committed about becoming the best version of yourself. So here's what I'm doing. If you've been sitting on the fence, going back and forth, is this for me? Should I set up a coaching discovery call? Is this the right investment, the right time? If you're wondering if high performance hypnotherapy and mindset coaching is for you, this is your opportunity to get a complimentary taste of hypnosis, my coaching experience, and what it's like to work with me. Here's what you need to do. I need you to visit the show notes and complete the link for the coaching application found below. Once you do so, I will then go through, I'll review your application, and I'll follow up with you to get this complimentary call on the calendar. And for those of you worrying, oh my God, I'm not going to bother, I'm not going to be one of the first 3, take a deep breath. If you're not one of the first 3, I'm just going to simply put you on a waiting list. I'll save your information and I'll circle back with you as the year goes on. And really, as my bandwidth allows, I'll connect with you and I'll honor my word and I'll gift you that complimentary call. So again, if you've been on the fence wondering, is this for me? Is this the time? Will it work? Do I need this? Here's your opportunity to dig in, get a full taste of the experience, and really learn, more importantly, experience firsthand what life is like on the other side of your obstacles and how when you begin taking aligned action from a place of authenticity, bold, courageous, confidence action, how much better your life becomes. And I look forward to sharing that experience together. Let's shift gears here now. And obviously that's what we're doing, but because in just a moment, the contrast in conversation is going to change dramatically. And I just want you to brace yourself for it. So take that deep breath, buckle up. We're now going to dive into the meat and potatoes of today's conversation. Every time you put it in the fairway, you fucking shit your pants. Dude, you're such an idiot. Stop being a jackass. Wow, what an ugly par. A fucking 5-year-old could have done better than that. You are such a jackass. Why are you rushing your tempo? Well, that approach shot has 3-putt written all over it. Dude, is it just me? Or are these greens incredibly inconsistent? It's like they weren't mowed right. Nothing like being 8 feet away and coming away with a double. Every fucking time you put it in the fairway, you fuck it up. You stupid idiot. You psycho. I hate this game. What a stupid read. Do you even fucking play this game? You're a jackass. You are a jackass. You knew you couldn't put it in the water and you fucking put it in the water. I knew you were going to do that. You're such an idiot. I hope that those phrases don't sound familiar. But candidly, I know for the vast majority of you listening, they do, or at least some variation. And after the 3rd hole during my round yesterday, it became so loud, toxic, and humorous, if I'm being honest, of how blatantly poor my playing partner self-talk was. I decided to open my notes app and literally write down or voice note verbatim exactly what it is he was saying to himself, about himself. This was his conversation out loud. I can't imagine how much worse it was in his own mind. And what I want to dig into today as I share more about this experience is, number one, you know negative self-talk is not serving you, but we're going to approach it from a different angle, really unpack it here, and give you some low-hanging fruit action steps you can take. Number two, I think it's worth mentioning, how can you have a better playing experience and block out the noise of somebody who is so catastrophically, destructively negative and in an outward fashion? And how can you ensure you focus on what you can control? If you're anything like me, I caught myself, and I've noticed this pattern for really the last probably year of playing, and I've been working on it, but I caught myself wanting to be the coach. Hey, dude, keep your head up. Dude, don't worry about it. Get the next one. But I've also recognized how exhausting that is and how it detracts from my focus, my processes, and routines. So I went fucking stone cold yesterday. And for the first couple of moments, it was hard, this urge, this pull, this temptation, just to say something positive to help kind of take the edge off the discomfort, the negative energy that was present. I'm proud to say I didn't. And we'll come back to that. Listen, you need to begin to understand that you have the most influential coach you'll ever have in your head. And whether you realize it or not, you're listening to that coach every single day. Another way to think about this coach is like a great caddy. A great caddy calms you under pressure, keeps you focused on the next shot, helps you gain the clarity and certainty you need to commit fully. A terrible caddy, on the other hand, would bring up past mistakes, would question your club choice at both address and mid-swing. A terrible caddy would whisper doubt right before you pull the trigger. Now imagine playing with that terrible caddy, let alone paying that terrible caddy to be with you for the duration of your round, and then listening to his advice. That's exactly what negative self-talk is. It's a constant pattern and different variation of the same theme. You're bad at golf. You're bad at life. You suck. Constantly thought in the past. Woe is me. Life is happening for me. The lies, the outcomes, the bounces. And what ends up happening is you're being poorly coached, yes. But you're allowing this voice, this coach, this caddy to continue to go unchallenged. And here's what you need to understand. That negative self-talk is hardwired into your mind, your DNA. And when you allow it to take over, it's like you've turned the volume of that self-talk up to absolute fucking max. You don't ever get to ignore it per se. You just constantly are programmed to react to it. And that reaction, by constantly listening to negative self-talk on repeat, louder, harsher, more critical, your body tightens and tenses. Your decisions become rushed. Your patience shortened. And that's not a place to play effective, competent golf from. Positive self-talk isn't about muting this reality. It's about turning the volume down on fear and negativity so you can actually hear your training, your instincts, and your intelligence again. Something that's often lost, and this is going to circle back to what we've discussed numerous times before. Every single day, it's estimated that you have between 50 and 70,000 thoughts per day. Think about that for a moment. How many of your thoughts are you consciously aware of? Hint, not many. And your thoughts are nothing more than the mental sentences you use to talk to and about yourself. You are literally the narrator of your day, your life, and your experience. Perhaps better said and more relatable, you're your favorite, or perhaps your least favorite broadcaster of golf, of the NFL, whatever sport you love to follow. But you are that narrator. You document in real time the story, the experience that is unfolding in your present moment. And if you are allowing all elements of mistakes, failures, and miscalculations of the past to cloud that narrative, how do you ever expect to change it? How do you ever expect to change it? Your self-talk is a GPS. It's not a cheerleader. If your internal GPS continues to say, uh-oh, recalculating because you screwed up again, or you are not built for this route, or everybody else seems to be getting there faster, well, guess what? It doesn't matter how motivated you are. You'll keep ending up in the right place. Your negative self-talk, if we strip it down even further to its core, negative energy, vibing at the wrong frequency, riddled with fear, anger, shame, bitterness, resentment, woe is me, I'm undeserving, unworthy, incapable. And what happens, and the mistake you are likely guilty of making, is you attempt to course correct by swinging to the opposite end of the spectrum, which is better known as toxic positivity. And it might sound like I'm a great fucking golfer. I'm the best putter in the world. I'm X, Y, and Z. And you've heard me say it before. I think there's a time and a place. I like affirmations, mantras. I think they can be valuable tools when context is clear and they're used effectively. But if you're coming from a place of extreme, harsh negativity and you're swinging too far in the other direction of positivity, that toxic positivity creates an incongruency. And what happens here is this negative self-talk comes from your belief system. Remember, we've talked about it before. We all possess these mindset programs, and the ones that we focus on most on this show are the destructive mindset programs. These programs are designed to keep you safe. Anytime you start stepping outside of your comfort zone, more success, love, money, happiness, confidence, these programs are deployed by your subconscious mind to bring you back down into your bubble of predictability, familiarity, and comfortability, because that is known and that is safe. So anytime a triggering situation arises, a flood of emotion permeates your body, a belief, which again is a filter through which you see the world, life, others, the game of golf is put on display, and all of your words, your thoughts, your self-talk, your actions are filtered through that. So what happens here is if you believe you are unworthy, undeserving, incapable, life is unfair, life is out to get me, people who have success are scratch golfers or asshole, multimillionaires or jerks. Well, if you believe all of this, it shows up in your self-talk. And therefore, when you try to course correct to the other extreme of the spectrum of positivity, there's a massive incongruency, because what you're hearing is, I'm great, I'm phenomenal at X, I love this, blah, blah, blah. But really what you believe is, I'm not worthy, deserving, good enough, rich people are assholes, scratch golfers are douchebags. And that incongruency creates friction, and that friction festers and shows up as impatience, irritation, agitation, and keeps some negative emotion or belief hijacking the steering wheel of your decisions, your actions, your feelings, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your behaviors. And here's the kicker. Your negative self-talk doesn't just affect your performance. It costs energy, enjoyment, presence, relationships, longevity in the game. And more often than not, people don't quit the goals they set for themselves because they're incapable. They quit because it's fucking exhausting, draining, and toxic living inside a hostile mind. Look, your negative self-talk is not helping you. I've worked with numerous clients who tell me that their ability to be harsh, judgmental, and critical of themselves is their superpower. Maybe for a very short amount of time, maybe there's been a past situation or experience where you had to be hard on yourself, but what was really happening is you were pep talking yourself to hold yourself accountable to a standard goal or commitment you set for yourself. This type of energy, this type of fuel is potent, is chaotic, and it does not sustain. It's not sustainable. It is destructive, exhausting, and short term. So as you are listening, and I still laugh at how unbearably bad the phrases, the name calling I heard from him yesterday. If any of that is similar or triggering to the type of conversation going on in your head, whether expressed outwardly or not, it's time to pause and get honest, real, and vulnerable about what the fuck is going on. How is that toxic, hostile inner environment helping you? Where did you learn to speak to yourself that way? How is it helping you reset, refocus, and direct your attention to what it is you can actually control? It's not. It's absolutely not. And it's my hope in hearing this conversation that your mental filter is up to begin noticing this negative self-talk in others all around you, on the course and otherwise. And even more, that now your mental alert system is up to begin recognizing it in yourself. And as you continue to pick up on, with more awareness, clarity, and speed than ever before, the type of things you say to and about yourself, I encourage you to reflect through a lens of non-judgmental curiosity. Why am I speaking to myself that way? Would I ever talk to my son or my daughter that way? Would I ever talk to my friend that way? Would I ever, or rather, did my parents ever talk to me that way? And for many people, the reason I share that question is that is the truth. A parent, a coach, a trusted individual talk to you that way during one of your chapters of life. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it the most effective method or practice to get every ounce of potential out of you. You need to understand that. You need to get curious as to where you picked up and learned this behavior. You need to recognize, A, it's not the only way to go about approaching success, and B, it's not helping you. The conversation you have in your head is the direct, main, primary catalyst for where you go and how far you go in your life. If you are constantly berating and belittling yourself, how do you ever expect to succeed? You double bogey holes before you tee off. You lose deals before you even have the conversation. Similarly, you make par and birdie before you tee off. You close deals and hit goals before you take that first action, because you see it, feel it, experience it, and hear it in your mind. What I found incredibly interesting about my experience yesterday is we were playing with two other golfers, great golfers, single-digit handicaps. Whenever they or myself hit a good shot, my individual or my playing partner was quick to share praise, offer a compliment. Hey, nice shot, great ball, phenomenal drive, hell of a putt, soft hands, nice work. Never once did he offer an outward expression of praise or a compliment to himself. He was fairly quick to give it, but he wouldn't give it to himself. And to me, I don't know this guy. I spent 4.5 hours with him. What I hear in that very brief surface level encounter together, he doesn't feel good enough, deserving, or worthy to accept and receive praise. In fact, when he did, because he hit plenty of great shots, he was quick to meet it with something negative. I got lucky. Members bounce. It was actually a terrible shot. It just kind of worked out. In fact, there were multiple times when he thinned an approach shot, rolled up onto the green. And one of the other guys we were playing with on 2 occasions reminded him, there's no pictures on the scorecard. This guy couldn't take a compliment. He couldn't accept praise. Can you? You've heard me say it before. A lot of my work, a lot of this deep work that I do with my clients comes down to uncovering core beliefs. We all have 4 core beliefs about ourselves, others, life, and I've added this 4th one, money. But if we focus on the core beliefs about ourselves, do you believe you are worthy, deserving, capable, and enough? Exactly as you are today, imperfectly you. These beliefs ripple into your self-talk, the words that you use to speak to and about yourself, which influence your thoughts, which influence the action and inaction you experience, which ultimately over time becomes a habit. Your habits collectively influence your results, and all of that totally encompasses your identity. It all comes down to beliefs. Yet your self-talk is a very low-hanging fruit, surface-level indicator. What the fuck is going on down there? So your assignment moving forward, and again, it's my hope that just listening to this has sparked awareness, has elevated the alertness of your reticular activating system, that part of your brain that as soon as you hear something, it's all you can see. You've heard the classic Volkswagen Beetle. You're in the market to buy a Volkswagen Beetle or a Beamer or whatever car you're about to purchase, and suddenly you start seeing them everywhere. They were always there, but this particular part of your brain is now activated, looking, filtering information to find more of that. Look, it's already it's already an uphill battle. 50 to 70,000 thoughts per day. The vast majority are negative. The vast majority are the same of yesterday. Positive self-talk is a practice, a habit, a skill that takes conscious daily commitment every single day. So your task today is to begin, and every day forward, being mindful, non-judgmentally curious about your self-talk, and then beginning to course correct, not by swinging the pendulum in the opposite direction to the most toxically positive self-talk you can potentially think of. Your challenge is to go neutral, to bounce back, to speak to yourself and about yourself like you would to your son, your daughter, a good friend, or at least your playing partner, likely somebody you don't know. Hey man, good shot, or hey, you'll get the next one. Hey, focus on this hole. In fact, there was another moment, this guy 3-putted the green, and we're on the next tee box, and he keeps talking about the 3-putt. And I'm like, bro, you've got a wide open fairway in front of you. Take your 240 club and put it out there. Shut the fuck up. Stop living in the past. Stop woe is me. Focus on the present. How can you say something kind to yourself today? And I want you to continue as I build upon your scope of awareness here. Think back to the last time you received a compliment or praise. How did it feel? Like, how did it physically feel in your body? Did you tighten up? A little tense, uncomfortable? Ugh. It's a sign there's work to be done. You might tell yourself, oh, I'm humble. I don't want to accept the praise. Bullshit. We all love praise, validation, recognition, acknowledgement. You can accept it and be kind, humble, selfless, respectful. Audit your self-talk. The most important relationship you have is the relationship you have with yourself. You need to learn to speak positively, kindly, supportively to and about yourself, because the most influential coach you'll ever have is the one in your head. And whether you realize it or not, you're listening to him every single day. I thank you for listening to another episode of the Scratch Golfer's Mindset Podcast. Like I shared in the beginning of this episode, if you've been intrigued and on the fence, seriously considering high-performance hypnotherapy and mindset coaching, I'd like to gift you an opportunity to taste the experience, hypnosis, what it's like to work with me, and how I can help you level up in every single domain of your life. You can complete the coaching application found in the show notes below, and I'll be in touch to get that gifted call on the calendar. Thank you again for listening. Look, I'm going to be the broken record. It takes 30 seconds to leave a genuine rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. These ratings and reviews go a long way in supporting the show, growing the show, and again, giving me the street cred I need to bring on the phenomenal guests that I've had the pleasure of bringing on to date. Take 30 seconds to leave the rating, to leave the review. I sincerely appreciate it. Start this week strong. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in Thursday's episode.